Hi, I'm Becca Otis from Five Lines Pottery in Monroe, Washington.
And I'm Ryan Durbin from RD Ceramics located in Southgate, Kentucky.
And welcome to Wheel Talk.
Hey guys, we've loved answering all of your questions so far. If you'd like to hear your question on the podcast, please send them to us on Instagram at wheeltalkpodcast or by email to wheeltalkpodcast@gmail.com. Thanks.
Yeah, you need to get a new computer.
No shit.
No shit.
We're live.
By the way, this is an adult podcast. Hello, we're live. I'm just telling Ryan that he needs to get a new computer. You know. How old is your computer? It's 2013, isn't it?
It's like a 2012.
You motherfucker. It is 2020. That is 8 years.
Not my work computer. My work computer is still old. I mean, it's still like a 2015 or something, but the work one is a mid 2015.
Do you use your regular computer all that much?
I mean,
I would just
not
use
really.
the work computer all the
I mean,
time.
Rachel uses it for her cry cut silhouette stuff. She does blog stuff. I do website stuff. I mean, I'll do like spreadsheets and things like that. I'd really just need the internet. Like and then Rachel edits my photos in iPhoto. It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's the battery is kind of the thing that's pretty slow. I don't really care about all the like software updates and all that.
Totally.
I don't really care about that. But I do have old Photoshop on there before it was subscription.
Nice.
So like that's nice to have on there when I need it.
CS5.
Yep, that's what it is.
Actually, honestly, I loved those versions so much more than the ones now. It took me a while to adjust to the new ones. Yeah. Anyway, how are you, Ryan?
I'm doing good. You can't see in the audio, but I got new glasses. I got two new pair of glasses.
I was like surprised at how much I like the lighter colored ones. I do like the darker colored
they look
ones.
pretty good. The darker ones are kind of bold, I guess, and then the lighter ones are more subtle. I actually like the lighter ones too because I'm used to wearing them with like half rimmed. So with the darker ones, I can see the rims more.
Yeah. As
I'm looking out, but the lighter colored like teal ones are easier to see. Like peripheral.
When I was thinking when you were like, I'm getting new glasses, and first of all I was like, oh, I'm so happy that he was like, I'm getting new glasses, and then he showed me all of the samples, and
well, you were like, yeah, show me.
I was.
Your glass is crazy.
I was like, ooh, I'm so excited. But I feel like I'm happy that we're those type of friends.
I mean, you probably have like 4 pair of glasses, don't you?
I buy the same frame. So I pay $25 for the frame, and they're actually a sunglass company. It's called Goodr, Goodr. Because I was so sick of buying, like, Ray-Bans, because they're, like, so expensive.
Yeah.
And I would get some from, like, China. I have a friend that goes to China frequently. But yeah, I buy them from Goodr, and then I had my eyeglass. Oh, no, I had the Chinese eyeglass place, because she takes them to China and gives them to an optometrist there. And they fill them with the prescription. And
I mean, how much does that cost to get? I mean, it's not that expensive, right? I mean, I got mine from Zenni Optical for like $40 for 2 pair.
Yeah, I know. I think that if you supply your own frames, it's more expensive. So.
Oh, okay. So you kind of have the frames, and you're kind of makeshift, retrofitting in prescriptions.
Right. I buy the frames, and then I add the lenses into them. So,
okay.
And so I buy the same frames, though. So I have 4 of the same frames, so if one gets broken, then I can switch them out, And
you can take those to a eyeglass place, and they'll switch them out for a fee. They're not going to require you to be a patient and all that if you needed to swap lenses out or swap the.
Usually they'll do it for free, actually.
Okay. It's just like we bear no responsibility if anything breaks, but we'll do it for you.
Yeah. Like, and my shop's right next to an eyeglass place, so I just walk in and I'm like, "Hi, Richard, can you put these in, please?" And so he just swaps them out, and it's nice because then and the lenses aren't really the issue for me. It's always like breaking the frames or whatever. Like, Andrew stepped on my frames, and so then I just went over and was like, "Can you please put these in now?" So yeah, it's nice to have the same frame and just to swap out the lenses. So
yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah. Anyway, how else is going on?
Today's Monday. I'm kind of getting back into the groove of it. So today I would normally be at class at Baker Hunt. We got the campus is closed for 2 weeks.
Why?
So something that I didn't tell anybody on social, but my dad got COVID last week. It's Monday now. It's about a week from today. So he got tested on last Tuesday, and then he was positive on Friday. So 3 or 4 days ago. And then I was like, hey, I had class Monday. Also, my dad tested positive for COVID. They were in town, like staying with us on Saturday and Sunday. So they were here like within 2 days of him getting it or testing positive that he was around us. So they were like, yeah, we're going to cancel your class next week and then, notify the students or whatever. And then essentially there were other cases on campus. So they decided to close the whole.
But wait,
go ahead.
Do you have COVID?
I'm still waiting on a test result, but Rachel got back a negative and okay. I'm feeling fine. I sent like a take-home kit. My insurance allows us to like request a take-home kit. So I got one like a month ago, and then I didn't use it, and I still had it. So I was like, well, I'm just going to swab when I need to and then send it in the same day. So they got it 2 days ago, but they still haven't emailed me the results. So I'm still waiting. Rachel got back a negative, though, so.
Yeah.
So that's the situation.
And your dad's doing fine. I texted your mom.
Yeah, he's doing good. I think it's the no taste, no smell sort of thing, and he had like cold-like symptoms when he decided to go get tested. So he's trying to like figure out how he got it, but I don't know. We don't know how he got it.
Yeah.
So I'm home and not teaching this week. They did reschedule, so they just pushed back all classes, I think 2 weeks later. So it was the 8th week of classes, so it was the very last week, and we'll just start back up the last weekend of the month, so right after Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I hate that. That happened to me the last time COVID went into craziness. Because are they shutting things down there again?
I mean, certain businesses are. I think it's just out of precaution. I don't think it's like a mandate thing.
Oh, our governor's shutting down everything. So,
or maybe I haven't really paid attention to the local news in the last few days, so I don't know.
Our governor's like shutting down everything, and like he did this the last time, and I'm just like, Inslee, can you just have some better timing, because the last time he shut it down a week before your classes ended. And then this time he's shutting it down a week before my class ended, and it wouldn't be a week before. However, Andrew's boyfriend got COVID, so I had to cancel class for a weekend.
Oh, yeah.
So it would have been fine, but I think we're gonna still we'll be fine as far as the class. So
did they at least give you more time to prepare to be like, okay, we're gonna close stuff down in 3 days versus like a day?
Yeah, they told us yesterday, and they're gonna close down everything tomorrow.
Okay.
So, yeah. 3 days. But it's not as bad as the last time, and honestly, I haven't been doing anything outrageously crazy, so it doesn't really change my life. Except for we have been doing painting in the studio, and
I was supposed to do a small show on Saturday, but I didn't do it, so I stayed around, did the studio stuff. Saturday, Sunday, got a project done. And today I just work stuff. I'll go in the studio after work, and I'm finishing prepping an order that I need to take to one of my consignment shops, so that's probably what I'll do tonight, and then maybe get some throwing done. But
nice.
Yeah. How about yourself?
It's been a week.
And it's Monday.
No, last week was really tough. So last week on Thursday, no, let's start with Wednesday. Last week on Wednesday, I was going to a friend's house who's in my circle, and I got a nail in my tire and had to change out the tire, but it was like a really sketchy nail. It was like had a huge piece of plastic on it, so like driving whacked out my entire car system. And it was a freeway. It's not like it was on the street. It was like I was on the highway, so like I had to go 25 to 30 miles an hour down the highway for like a mile and a half.
Holy
to get
shit!
to the exit. And
so that deflated, that like impacted it very immediately. It wasn't like nailing the tire started like going down over a couple hours and then you noticed.
No. It wasn't leaking. The nail was there, but the problem was there was this huge piece of plastic that was connected to the nail.
Yeah.
And so it felt like you were going over like a speed bump every time.
Oh, that would be annoying.
And it knocked off the 4-wheel drive. And so, and I was like, I was going to change the tire on the freeway, but that's really not safe. You should never do that. And it was on my driver's side too, so I would have been in direct harm. And I was like, ugh. And my dad was like, it'll be fine. Your tire, because I was honestly like, if it would have been a regular nail, it would have been no problem at all. But I was honestly worried about getting off the road because my car was being weird. And so I finally got off the road and changed the tire. And everything was all good. Got the donut on, and then I went home, and then the next morning, the buyers that had been in negotiations, the second buyers for the shop, ended up backing out. Totally legitimate reasons. I think it's probably for the better. Not mad at all. I should probably say that. Not mad at all. Everybody else is mad, but not me. So I'm not really mad, but that led into now I have to liquidate everything in the shop before December, and the governor is closing down the state, so liquidating while we're in the midst of COVID 2.0.
Did he say whether it was like a 2-week period to start or
till December 14th?
So a month.
Sure.
Shit. Yeah, or almost a month.
Yeah, so
dang. It's probably preemptive for Thanksgiving too, right? He's trying to get ahead of it because they're going to go up over Thanksgiving and then.
Yeah, which is fine. I'm planning on. I've marked all of the bisqueware down to 50%, and I'm going to try and push it out the door with acrylics as opposed to glazes. I saw that Rachel was doing that cactus with acrylics, and
it turned out pretty good.
Oh, good. And that's like the crappy acrylics too, like the ones in the
Actually, she was using like wall paint that we had, and then she had a little bitty thing of acrylics that they sent with it.
Yeah. That
she just used to like accent it a little bit.
Totally. So I feel like that's going to be good. I'm going to put those online. Hopefully like the new people that have been following me will kind of support and buy those. Those are all 50% off, and then
is that what you're mostly worried about getting rid of, is all of the bisqueware?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you said how much you have, and it was crazy.
I have $15,000 retail of bisqueware. And as far as, like, wholesale costs, it's much less than that. But it's a lot of pieces. And so, yeah. So after that, it's like, what, $750? $7,500?
Yeah. You're probably, like, try to break even on it and just get rid of as much as you can.
Yeah, honestly, yeah. I'd like to just get it out the door, and like I don't even care. Like, you know, all those stores that are always like, oh, it's 25% off. Next week it's 30. Next week it's 40. I'm like, fuck that. Everything's 50% off. It's gonna be 50% off at the end of like.
Get it now
until the end. So you might as well get it now because I want it out. So,
plus, like, give it to people that are gonna. I'm sure kids will be out of school and like at home and needing stuff to do at home. So acrylics is a great solution.
Yeah. So anyway, if you're listening to this, and you have children and you want them to paint some bisque, and you actually have low fire glazes or like under glazes,
would you consider shipping it?
Yeah. I'm gonna put it online, and go check out my website. I'm gonna put it online, and we're gonna ship it all over. So,
nice. Okay.
So, yeah.
So people with kiddos out there that you don't want to have to worry about firing pieces. Or maybe you have stuff at home that you can have them paint under glaze or glaze on it and have fun.
Yeah, you could do
Ask
underglaze,
Becca, and you're going to get some
then,
discounted bisque stuff.
Yeah, you could do underglaze, fire it, and then clear coat it with just like a Krylon spray, and look great. You could do it with acrylics. It looks fantastic with acrylics anyway.
Yeah. And my mom did one with your glazes or your stroking coats or something, and I fired it to cone 6, so.
06?
Cone 6. I thought it was cone 6 or cone 06. What was it?
It was 06. I hope to God
06.
you did
Okay,
not fire
06.
cone 6.
I think it was 06. Sorry. Okay. I forgot whether I put it in a bisque firing or a glaze firing. I must have put it in the bisque fire. Okay.
Yeah, and so anyway, that has all been happening. And then I was like, okay, I'm going to my friends 2.0, right? I'm going to actually try to get to my friends so I can do my laundry. And I go out to my car and my tire is flat because they didn't fix the tire correctly. So today I went, and thankfully Les Schwab is really close to my house, and so I just walked back. And I've been watching Ocean's 11. That's my life.
Ocean's 11. It seems like you must live in a spot that's like, I feel like you're like, there's a dry cleaner next door. There's a bar next door.
I live right in downtown.
Next door to this thing, and there's an eyeglass place right next door.
I was thinking about it because I walked to the teriyaki place to get lunch.
There's an ice cream shop.
I'm going to really, really miss
throwing a rock at any of these places and getting stuff.
Yeah, like the fact that I can walk from the tire place and it takes 5 minutes to get back to my shop. I'm really going to miss that. Like, I'm very centrally located and it's really nice. And I can walk to the grocery store. I can walk to teriyaki, the taco truck, the bar, like 15 restaurants. Yeah, it's like really nice to be.
I mean, that's small town. That's quintessential small town living right there.
It is, for sure.
Yeah.
Indeed. Anyway, let's move on. Enough about me. Because unfortunately, for everyone else, we're going to talk about me a little bit today. Just not directly, but we're going to talk about fun stuff. Let's talk about reviews.
Reviews. Do you have them ready?
I do. Okay. We have 2 reviews because they're short and sweet, so we thought we'd patch them up. Okay, the first one is Motivational Podcast as Always by C. Taylor. Another fun episode always makes my week. Thanks, Ryan and Becca. John the Potter has great branding and promotes 2 brands at the same time. That's right after we did the branding episode, I think.
Yep.
And then the Pottery Podcast I've been looking for. I've learned so much from this podcast. Thank you so much for taking the time to make this. That was from Cute Girl 555.
All right. Thank you all for those reviews.
All right. What's your question?
And moving on to a listener question. It says topic, but I feel like we can answer this quick enough in a listener question because we don't have a ton of experience in this. But the question was how to apply for shows at NCECA. That is from Jen Selwee Pottery. Jen Selwee Pottery. I recognize her. She's the one that used to be in Cincinnati, and I think she moved to Hawaii. So,
oh, nice. I
think that's Jen. Okay, so neither of us have applied for shows for NCECA in the past, and also the NCECA conference for 2021 in Cincinnati is completely virtual this year, except for a handful of exhibitions that are in person. I think there's like 3 to 4 exhibitions that are in person in Cincinnati that will still be like in galleries, but they're not, part of a in-person conference that like a ton of people are coming into town for. So you can still go to those. But from what I've gathered, I was just looking on NCECA's social recently, and they just post deadlines for like when their different exhibitions are available for applying. And it looked like a lot of the NCECA ones are very tailored to what the theme is for that year. So they could be looking for pieces related to, I don't know what the topics are, but related to some topic, and they'll put out calls for artists. And I want to say the one that I saw recently that ended was, I want to say early November for the 2021 conference, so like 5 months prior to it happening. So I would say that's probably kind of the end point of when a lot of those exhibitions are probably happening. But I could be totally wrong. There could be other concurrent exhibitions that happen while NCECA is going on that are at smaller galleries that are accepting entries past that. But I would say NCECA.net has those kind of details. And the reason we've never applied, I don't personally apply for gallery shows because the things that I'm interested in are not getting recognition through like gallery exhibitions and building up a resume that way. Like I get more enjoyment selling pieces and like doing in-person shows with patrons. So like I'm less artsy in that way of what I want to put my work into. So I don't know.
Money.
And like whatever, yeah, whatever the entry for those are, it's like $25 or $30 to apply for some of those kind of exhibitions, and I just don't see the benefit for myself of putting a $50 mug, paying $30 to put a $50 mug in the exhibition. If I get accepted, then it's up for viewing and whatever, and then it sells for $50. Like I make $20 on that thing, plus I got to pay to ship it there, and whatever. Yeah. I just don't see the benefit for me. But if I was in the $100 mug club or like $300 mug club, maybe it would make more sense for me to apply to exhibitions.
Totally.
But
if nobody's ever heard us talk about the $100 mug club, we really love the $100 mug club, but we are not part of it.
At least not yet.
Not yet. Yeah, we don't sell mugs for $100, and we definitely think that people should. We're just not there.
Yeah.
And I don't think that was a term that I coined long ago. I don't know if anybody else uses the $100 mug.
I'm sure somebody else uses it.
They have to.
It's kind of an aspirational thing, right? You're like, I want to be able to sell a mug for $100. Like that's a good accomplishment.
It is. It's a good goal. More specifically, I want to be able to sell a $100 mug, but also somebody actually buy it. Like,
yeah, that's the exciting part. You're like, somebody's willing to pay $100 for this.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't ever apply for stuff like that, frankly, because I am not put together enough for applying for shows. And, that's Ryan's expertise. I don't do that. So,
I mean, I'll apply for in-person shows for like markets, but not exhibitions. It's just not my vibe.
Yeah, well, I feel like markets are different. They're like, oh, we want to see stuff that's functional. We want to see stuff that's like utilitarian and like not necessarily super fancy. They just want to see stuff that would sell. Not that fancy wouldn't sell. It would. But, you can get away with selling basic functional pottery as opposed to sometimes in shows you can't really get away with a basic
versus mug. Like high-end art.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is, I think the exhibitions are more like closer to the fine art versus function. Yeah. But there are some shows like Companion Gallery, I think, has shows that are mugs and tea bowls or whatever the theme is. And if you make stuff in that realm, then you might stand out and get selected for that kind of thing.
I think that NCECA would probably be the only place that if you have just like a standard mug that's really well made, they would see that and be like, this is good. This is good, yeah. Whereas like if you were applying to a general fine art show that wasn't just about clay, they'd be like, what is this? Like, what is this? Yeah, for sure. Do we have any other questions that are short?
I think that's actually, we have another one. I can answer. Okay. We can answer this one. This one's actually somebody that bought from me this past weekend.
Oh, exciting.
Oh, by the way, I had a sale this past weekend, and it went pretty well. I didn't sell out, but hey, aspirations. We're getting there.
Fantastic. But you did better than the last time, right?
I did. I had like 10 sales or 12 sales on Friday and got it packed up and most of it out on Saturday like a madman.
You're amazing. I'm still packing up stuff that was ordered last week.
Okay, so this one came from Ursula Nash, and it says, you mentioned having failures when using reclaimed clay. If if it's all the same clay body, what would cause failures? I can understand this can occur if there are two different clays. What kind of failures have you had with reclaimed clay? I would say like being short or like air bubbles and it just not being intermingled well enough or wedged well enough.
Mostly for me, it's being short and also accidentally having some foreign substance that has contaminated the clay. So,
foreign substance like a sponge or something or something else?
I've definitely found full sponges in my clay after they've been mixed in the pug mill. But
that's why you dump it through a filter or some kind of a screen as you dump your bucket.
Fun moment. That's an always fun moment to find while you're throwing. I was like, why is there a lump in this? And I like pulled it out and it was a full sponge.
The worst I've had is like a chamois. I've taken a chamois out of a piece of recycled clay, but it was throwing shot glasses off the hump, so it wasn't that big of a deal.
I accidentally had somebody throw a bisque piece into my reclaim bucket.
Oh no! So it just stayed solid and it didn't break down.
Oh no, it broke down. It broke down in the pug mill, and for the next.
Oh, like, in the pug mill.
Yeah, and for the it might have been me. It probably was me. I'm not blaming anybody but myself. For the next 10 batches, I had mugs that had little tiny spots in them.
Oh my gosh! So it was actually broken bisque. It wasn't like a solid piece of bisque that got thrown in there and just broke into 4 pieces.
No, it was broken. And I found it. I found it, but then it was too late. It was too late.
That will cut you. That sounds terrible.
Yep. But let's talk about short clay. So, yes, in theory, if you reuse the same clay, it would be fine. However, clay loses its elasticity over time, over being worked too much. And so a general practice that I use and Josh uses, and I don't know about you, but I leave my clay out to kind of sit and get some bacteria in it and kind of I want the black moldy look. And that always helps with the elasticity. So I pull it out of the slosh bucket and I let it sit for probably 2 weeks, and then maybe a week to 2 weeks, and then I break it down and put it into the pug mill. So, or dry it out a little.
When
bit.
you say the slosh bucket, are you talking about when you've immediately thrown with it, or the bucket that's in the back that people are constantly throwing stuff into?
People are constantly putting their clay and wet clay into the back, into I have a huge horse trough that people put, and then I pull that out and then let that sit.
So there's never mold and stuff inside of that when you scoop it out?
I'm sure there is.
Okay. I was going to say, how do you get it to generate mold?
It's just sitting. Just sitting.
Because mine constantly has mold in it in my throwing slosh bucket.
Right.
I think once it's in there, if you don't bleach clean it, it will continually, even if it's dried completely out and I've already dumped it and recycled it, the next batch that I throw in there is going to constantly breed mold. So
which is good. You want that. Obviously you don't if you're allergic to mold, but then you shouldn't be throwing. You should be tossing clay into the garbage if you're allergic to mold. But yeah. Mold is good. Black. I want black swirls.
So I'm sorry, did you mention exactly what short is and why it happens?
Short clay. Oh, I don't know if I'm going to.
Or what are some characteristics of it first?
Short clay is
we could probably ask Josh later too.
Well, I know what short clay is, but I'm not going to be entirely scientific about it. Short clay is when let's say a lot of people have done this it doesn't have enough elasticity in it. It doesn't have enough molecules binding the clay together. But if you did a coil, an inch coil, and then bent it, if it crackles, sometimes when you're doing handles and you bend the handle and it crackles on that curve, that's short. So it's just not binding together. It doesn't have enough elasticity in it. And also
it kind of rips a little bit.
Yeah, it rips.
I'm thinking of when you throw and you're pulling a wall and it just pulls right through.
Yeah.
It just, the way that you pull it apart, just...
It just rips.
I don't know how to compare it, but yeah, it kind of rips apart. It's not like a clean...
Yeah, and sometimes when you're throwing, the rim is like ratchety. It's like on the top. It's not smooth. It just has lots of little bumps because it's like breaking at the top rim. That's short. Yeah. Overwatering can do it too. Can also do that. Like if you use a lot of water. A trick that Josh taught me is to put 2 tablespoons of dissolved Epsom salts into your reclaim, and that can help with the binding. So if it is super short and you can't figure it out, that's also an option to look into. 2 tablespoons of Epsom salts. I think it's a 1-to-1 ratio. Try and like soak it down. He puts it on the stove. I'm not sure that's necessary, but yeah.
Yeah, I think the dissolving in water just makes it easier to intermingle and spread.
Yeah. Toots.
All right, those are the questions. And what are we talking about today?
Well, since I've been doing a lot of research recently, and I thought it would be fun to talk about the resale value of the equipment that we have, and what's like realistic, like what we think. Obviously, we're not professionals, but like what we think is realistic, and like where to find out, like
how much your stuff is worth.
Yeah, and stuff like that. I've been going through a lot of different things, and and I always see on Clay Buddies. I mean, I'm sure you do too. This kiln is $700. Is it worth it? So like what to look for in a kiln, when you're buying one.
And each of these different pieces of equipment, I'm sure, could be their own episode as its own, all
Probably.
out. But we'll kind of, because Becca's going through this of trying to figure out how to sell stuff and how to price it.
Yeah.
And, I mean, pricing's already hard enough for individual pieces when you don't know.
I know.
This seems more what's the market for it based on where you live and how many people are willing to buy it right now at this time.
Yeah, because like I announced that I was liquidating, and I shit you not, 7 people have called me in the last 3 days, or texted me, or messaged me and said, "Are you selling your wheels? Are you selling your wheels? Are you selling your wheels? Are you selling?"
And you only mentioned it on, was it your 5 Lines Pottery Facebook?
That was it.
Yeah, so that's the only way that people found out about it.
I said it on TikTok too, and Instagram, I guess. Everybody knew, but I also had mentioned that I will be selling them, like I will post when things were available, but people don't seem to want to wait for that. And
I was saying this earlier, but with the amount of items on the market being made new, like it's kind of slim pickings out there because everybody's got their home studio and they're not going to studios, or the backlog at these production, manufacturers are really slow right now. So
totally, and it's crazy. Okay, let's talk about, what should we talk about first, kilns or wheels?
Let's talk about wheels.
Oh, okay.
You thought I was gonna go kilns, didn't you?
I did.
There we go. They got a little curveball. All right. Wheels. So how many wheels and like what kind of wheels do you? So I would say, do we want to go by like the brand of wheel?
We could go brand.
Or do we go by what you have right now?
No, we don't have to go by what I have. I think that it's just good to talk about it generally. Okay.
I mean, there's also brands that I don't know how they fit in, but I would say, used. Are we just going with like this kind of wheel, this tabletop wheel, Artista, or this wheel? I would say I would sell it used for like $350 to $400, like $300-$400.
Which one?
For one of those
tabletop?
For one of those tabletop ones.
Yeah, I think that when I
feel
bought
like that's
it,
kind of the low.
Like $400.
I feel like that's kind of like the low price of the wheels that you're going to buy used.
I think that it's interesting because, well, obviously it depends on what kind of condition your wheel is in and how long it's been used. But also not, like my wheel, my Soldner wheel, I bought it used, and it was already 40 years old by the time that I bought it used, and I paid $800 for it, you know? Like, there's definitely...
So it shows the longevity of it, right? It's a workhorse, you know?
Yeah, and I've had it for 7 years. Yeah, and so, like, well, you have the Brent, right? I
have a Brent C.
And I have a Brent B. C's better, right?
Yeah, I mean, the total centering pounds are more, but the Brent B would probably do for 90% of the people that are using a Brent B or a Brent C. Yeah. You're just going to pay, I don't know what the retail price is different, but it's probably like $500 or $1,000 different.
So I feel like the general rule of thumb that I like to go for when selling used equipment is to, usually it's going to be 50% of the retail cost.
And then you're going to adjust it based on condition, age.
Yeah.
And other... I'm like a comparables. Like, I want comparables out there to see. That's where you kind of have to do your market research. Even if you're not in the market for a wheel, like looking at wheels every now and then just to see what the prices are for Brents versus, you know, Shimpos. Like, if a Brent was on the market for $400, like, you better snatch that thing up if it's working, because that's a great price for a Brent that's used.
Yeah. So, okay.
I paid $900 for my Brent used.
Used. Yeah.
I paid $900 for it. Yeah.
When I bought my kilns, I bought a kiln and the Brent together, and I paid $1,200 for those too. And
yeah, you're definitely going to save money buying multiples as well. Buying like a kiln and a wheel together because they want to get rid of it.
Yeah, the Brent C brand new is $1,840. That's 110 volt.
1,800. So I paid about half price for it.
That's off of the Amoco Brent website. So we're going straight to the source.
Yeah.
So if you half that, that'd be about $900. So you probably paid exactly what it was worth used.
Yeah.
Now, I have a Brent B that has to have a pedal redone.
Okay.
So, and the Brent... oh, wow!
I would guess... I'm going to guess 1,000 for retail. What is it?
It's $1,300.
$1,300. Okay, so it's $500 less than the Brent C. And what's the difference between the two? Is it? I think it's just capacity or horsepower is a little bit different.
This is bullshit. The Amoco
bullshit.
Bullshit. The Amoco Brent site, their Brent B model is $1,785, but you can find it off of Sheffield's or the ceramic shop for $1,359. So now I need to go and look at the ceramic shop. Oh, but it's on sale. It's on sale.
Right.
Probably because they need to get rid of them.
But are they even in stock?
I think they are. But their retail price is $1,785, but it's on sale for $1,359. So, with that being said, I would not go for the sale price. So keep that in mind. Don't look at the sale price. You want to look at the actual retail price, which is $1,785. So, then you half that, and what? You're at like...
I don't know. $850, is that half of it?
Maybe, yeah. And then it depends on how good a shape it is. Like my Brent B's in crappy shape. Like it's got.
Like I think the splash pan's a pretty good thing. Like if your splash pan is cracked or something, I mean those things retail for like $75 for a splash pan. I feel like
they're super expensive. So keep that in mind. The how good the wheel head, the condition of the wheel head. How good the condition of the undercarriage is, like if they're all secure. The pedal, like my pedal on my Brent B doesn't work. I had to take it off and have to
How much is a replacement pedal?
I don't know because Josh sent me the replacement.
What about the Amoco Brent site? You can't see a replacement Brent pedal?
Let me see.
I'm sure it's the same pedal for all the different Brents, right?
I would imagine. Well, and also like the pedal that he sent me had changing out the pedals on the Brents is actually a pain in the ass. So like
Wait,
specifically.
I'm thinking of the motor. I thought mine was I thought it's just a plug. I thought you just plug it into the motor.
Not mine.
I thought mine was. Maybe yours is older. Maybe
Foot
yours
pedal,
is actually like wired.
The complete foot pedal is $259.
Yeah. So if she was selling it with a bum foot pedal that doesn't work at all, then she's got to knock some of that price off because they're going to have to pay $200+ to get a new one.
Yeah, and you could,
or a used one, I guess, but
you could just plug it in. You're correct. Maybe I could see if that works. Anyway, you could just plug it in, but also there's another thing inside the pedal. Anyway, I'm just giving my Brent away to somebody who has helped me immensely in the studio with glazing and cleaning out my studio. And her husband he's an electrician, so I know he can fix the pedal.
yeah,
Because I know the wheel works, and I know it's just the pedal. So I'm just giving it to her as a payment for everything that she's done for me, because it's been a lot. But
paying it forward.
Yeah, paying it forward. And
Claying it forward.
Clay it forward. Okay.
I didn't come up with that, so I heard that before.
So, okay, now that we've
clever.
covered, like, Brents, I think, well, so if I was going to sell a used Brent in good condition, used.
That is the B the base model?
A's the base model, I think. But
A's the base, okay.
We'll say C because I feel like that's the most popular model. So the Brent C, I'd probably sell it for like $800 to $900.
Yeah.
That's
it's
insane.
one of those also with the negotiating thing. You don't give them your base price. You don't want to give them the cheapest you're willing to give it out for, because whatever the market is, like I would probably list that at $950.
Yeah.
See if you get any bites. And then, people are going, depending on what avenue you go through of selling it, people might negotiate. They might say, "Would you take $750?" And then you kind of come down. You're like, "How about, $875?" And then, depending on how much you want to negotiate and do the back and forth. But that's the art, and it's in and of its own. Rachel hates the negotiating things with Facebook Marketplace. I'm like, offer this, and then do the whole back and forth. So
yeah, seriously. On a side note, now that I figured we'd go to Shimpo next. On a side note, have you ever been to Nidec's actual website? They do so many things.
No, but I know it's like a manufacturing company. It's not like Shimpo is a baby part of their brand.
Nidec is the actual brand. And then Shimpo, they have a ceramic art equipment, measuring instruments, press machines, and power transmission equipment.
Yeah. I think I knew that when I was looking up their Instagram for the banding wheel. And I was like, man, there's no Shimpo ceramics, I don't think. I think it's Nidec. So, yeah.
Yeah. I was going to see if they had the actual price for these on here, but I don't think they do.
I'm sure you could go to one of the resale sites and see. I would guess Shimpo's are going to be comparable. The base model, the VL Lite, is I don't know what, $850, $900 maybe.
It's $850. So that's going to be your most affordable wheel to buy.
That's in the top kind of group of wheels.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You would say professional. I don't want to say professional in quotes wheels maybe. Or
I would say standard.
Standard wheels?
Yeah. I feel like Shimpo's going to be the bottom of the most used models.
I love how quiet they are. I threw on VO Whispers when I was in high school, and I just loved them.
That is the part that I hate about them.
You hate how quiet they are?
I hate how quiet they are.
Why?
The reason being is because I can't hear it, so You
can't tell the speed? Oh, okay.
Yes. So, yeah.
I can kind of gauge the speed based on the amount of drag when I'm doing a pull and stuff. That's how I can tell, I'm going too fast. Or I can't control. I don't know. But yeah, I see what you mean.
Yeah, okay. So here we got, these are gonna be the retail prices without any savings, or like this is just from straight the ceramic shop without any. You save 20%. The RK2, the RK Whisper wheel, which is not the RK2, is a.
What is the RK Whisper? Is that like the high end of the Shimpo?
No, the RK is the mid end. It's the mid.
The middle, okay.
So I have 4 RK2s, and they are the ones that they actually look like R2-D2. They look like a robot. They're the metal encasing, and they have the hand lever on the side. And
is there a foot pedal attached to that lever?
Yes, there's a foot pedal attached. And they have a weird splash pan that you can like put the bucket on. But if you don't have that splash pan, you're shit out of luck. You can't put a bucket on the wheel. And
because it just doesn't have a tabletop surface.
Yeah. These are the wheels that all the old classrooms had. And so they go on sale. They like sell through all those auction sites pretty frequently.
Yeah.
And so I have 4, and I got them for like $450 to $500, I think. At each, and they were used at Seattle Pottery Supply. They retail for $14.25.
And they've been making these RK2 wheels for quite a long time, right?
Forever.
They could be as old as 30, 40 years, something like that.
No, this one's a Whisper wheel, so it's going to be quiet and like...
Okay.
But yes, like the RK2s, like just generally, they've been making them forever. So like the ones that I have are so old. They're like...
But the overall construction is the same. Is the splash pan a thing on the old ones too? Yours have splash pans?
Most of the old ones don't have a splash pan. I bought a splash pan from Seattle Pottery Supply that's a single body splash pan, so you have to basically put a sponge in there and like wipe it out instead of you can't take the splash pan off, so it's fixed.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
But so these wheels, because they do range, like if you got a brand new RK2 and was gonna sell it like 2 years after you bought it, you could sell that for $800, $700, $800. But
you said that retailed for how much?
They retail for $14.25 brand new.
$14.25.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they're workhorses. Like,
see, I thought you were gonna say when you only had it for a couple of years that you were gonna say like 1,000.
I don't know. I mean,
because if they work for 30, 40 years,
all wheels should work for 30, 40 years.
Wouldn't the newest versions of these workhorses last? I don't know. Maybe they have some of the. I feel like there's some features that it's lacking without like the splash pan thing and the removable splash pan. But if it's brand new, 2 years old, then it's going to have that feature.
Yeah, they're brand new and has the splash pan and everything like that. The reason I like these wheels is because they have the hand lever. Not every wheel has a hand lever. It is really heavy and it's hard to move around.
They look pretty concise though.
They are.
Of like the space that you're going to put it in.
Yep, they're very easy to put into a space. Now, that being said, the ones that I have are extremely loud. Like, so loud. And
is that because they're more mechanical?
Yeah, I think so.
The construction of them is more mechanical than...
Yeah, I would be lying if I said that I had opened one up and looked inside. I just haven't because I'm kind of scared to look inside of them.
Sounds like it's like you don't know what's going to go on.
Yeah, I was like, if they don't break, I'm not going to touch this fucker. So, but so I'm selling mine for $350 each because I know that there's a possibility that they will work forever, but I also know that there's a possibility that at some point they're going to die. Or they're
going to transport it home and it's going to be dead.
Yeah, like at some point it's going to be like, it's going to need like $100 of fixing. And if you're mechanically minded, it won't be hard at all. But, if you're not, you're going to have to pay somebody to fix it. So that's why I'm selling mine for so cheap, but they're also wicked old. And
that's also one where you're like, come pick it up only. It's not, there's no delivery here. You need to come pick it up.
I remember trying to place all of them when I first started. Oh, such a pain in the ass. Now, let's talk about the Shimpo Light, the VL Light, which don't be confused with the Shimpo VL Whisper. Right?
Yeah.
They're different.
The difference is what the centering capacity.
Yeah. Oh my god, the Shimpo Light is so weak compared.
Is it? Was it like a third of a horsepower or something?
Yeah,
versus
I feel like I've tried, like, okay, here's the comparison. I have a Shimpo Light and also have a 40-year-old RK2, and I will only center 25 pounds on the RK2. I will not do it on the Shimpo Light. It's a pain in the ass, and the whole wheel moves. So, with that being said.
But most people, 90% of people are using it without 25 pounds of click.
Correct. So, it's usually good for everybody. If you're not going to be throwing heavy amounts. The Shimpo VL Light retails at $865.
That's a pretty good price.
Yeah, it's a great price.
That's a good price for like somebody's first wheel.
Oh, totally. Like,
if you can afford that.
They have it on the ceramic shop for sale at $734, which is good.
Yeah.
I'm selling mine that's only a year old that gets used not very much for $500.
Nice.
So,
yeah, I mean, $500 is still a good price for a wheel that's in good condition that's used, or great condition that's used.
Shape. It's in great shape. I even just took the plastic off the legs like a week ago.
Nice. Plus, those wheels for the Shimpos just look so clean with the white, and
they do.
They just look really aesthetically pleasing to like sell versus like an RK2 that's all metal and it's got a little bit of age to it.
Totally. I feel like the RK2 is just like the fucking workhorse. It's like, it's the one that if you're just, you don't even need to change the speed of the wheel. You just set it and you just go. You're just like boom, 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 boom. And the VL Light is like, I just bought a new studio and I'm gonna like, you know, build this out and it's gonna look beautiful and all the walls are gonna be white and like it's just so pretty.
I like the splash pans on those. If I remember correctly, like they fit together pretty nicely.
Yeah, almost too nicely. You have to like smash them together.
Is it better to get the splash pan from the Brent or the Shimpo?
I like the Brent splash pans better.
Oh, really? Like they stay together better? Or because they have like a deeper channel?
They're just so much easier to get apart. I feel like I've splashed myself in the face too many times with a Shimpo splash pan. Because, like, you have to pull them apart, but they're so stuck together that when you do, it, like, you, like, accidentally rip it apart and then the water sprays up into your face.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. Okay, next up, Shimpo VL Whisper, the regular one, retails at $15.55. It's on sale for $12.48.
So that's right below the RK?
It's right above.
Right above, okay.
Like $100 above. Okay. I think that the horsepower, I'm not looking at any of the specs on these wheels, but I believe that the horsepower on the RKs are pretty good. Yeah. So, the Shimpo Whisper, I would say, I don't know, I mean, I could be wrong, but I think that I would almost sell that for like $800. Like, if
probably similar to like a Brent C.
Yeah,
Brent C price.
The Brent C is a little bit more expensive, but I also feel like, part of me feels like they're gonna last about the same. I think the Brent's gonna last a little bit longer, but it's like they depreciate to almost the same value, you know?
Right.
Like, even though the Whisper is cheaper, if you're reselling it, it's still going to be pretty expensive.
It looks like the Whisper is a half horsepower.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
for the Whisper. And then it says the VL Light is a half horsepower, but I don't know about that.
It's not. Nope. Mm-hmm. The VL Whisper should be more.
Maybe it's the speed, the wheelhead speed.
Maybe.
Well, it says it's about the same.
This has 100-pound centering capacity. The VL Whisper. Oh, fucking.
The VL Light was a 25-pound.
Yeah, 25-pound versus 100 pounds. Like, you're
Maybe it's the weight of the wheel. Shipping weight. Yeah,
It is
shipping
a lot
weight of the
heavier.
shipping weight of the VL light is 84 pounds. The other one's like 130 pounds.
Yeah.
So the overall weight of the wheel gives you more centering.
I've put together both wheels, and they are definitely different.
I really love the Shimpo foot pedal. Like, I just think the speed variation is really smooth on the Shimpos.
I'm not a fan, but that's because I have a Soldner, so we'll just move past that. What I will say is, if you do ever buy a Shimpo new, you tighten those bat pins down before you use it. Tighten the bat pins, and also loosen up the pedal. And
because it is pretty tight.
They are stiff. Like, the pedals are stiff, which makes sense. They can't ship them loose. But also those bat pins come out and they like get loosened up. And if you tighten them up before you even put any clay in there, you'll be much better off. Okay, so we've moved past that. Now, I will say this, if you ever see a Soldner wheel for sale, buy it. It doesn't matter the cost.
It doesn't matter the cost. Arm, leg, get it.
Just get it.
I've never vintage, thrown on a Soldner. I have no idea.
Especially if it's old. Well, when I get mine, you can throw on it.
So I see some Soldners. I'm just on Clay King, but which one do you have?
I don't have one that's ever been sold in modern times.
It was constructed back in the day specifically for somebody that I bought it off of.
So I remember when I called Seattle Pottery and I was like, I need a wheel, and they were like, well, we have two. We have a Soldner wheel, which caught me right away because I learned how to throw on a Soldner kick wheel, so I already knew that there was quality in the wheels. And then she's like, but we also have the wheel that was in Ghost. So
what wheel is in Ghost? I don't know what wheel that was.
Brent. I'm pretty sure it's a Brent.
Is it?
I think so. It's like one of the big Brents that is like the black with the huge table. I don't know. I'm gonna watch Ghost this week. So
I just pulled up Potteries. I'm gonna see if I can see the wheel.
Anyway.
Oh gosh. How do we not know this by now?
You don't really know the wheel that was in Ghost. Nobody talks.
I feel like that's what I would be. I would know that. I was watching a Community or something, and they were throwing on a wheel, and I think it was some Shimpos and some Brents in that room.
Okay, so
Anyways.
I didn't know they were in Fort Collins. Anyway, moving on. Oh, well, I might be buying another Soldner wheel on my way through Colorado. So I bought my wheel for $800. It had a wooden foot pedal connected to a bike chain. And I still paid $850 for this motherfucker. So that's the kind of worth that you have in a wheel like that. The pedal consistency it's unmatched. But the new ones I think are like $1,500.
Yeah, they look pretty comparable to the other wheels that are out there.
But I would.
They just look a little more simple and like they're not plastic. They don't have a bunch of plastic and stuff on them. It looks like wood and like metal construction.
Yeah. I would venture to say that if you see a Soldner wheel out there that's any less than $1,000, that's going to be a good freaking deal. So, because I don't think that anybody's going to sell them. I don't know how I got mine. Fate. Okay, now that
do you have experience with Pacifica wheels?
No, because I think they're a piece of crap. So
really?
Wait, no. Clay Boss. I think the Clay Boss are. You have a Clay Boss. Total. I have
a Clay Boss. It's an old one. Pacifica ones, I would say I've thrown on one at a local studio for an event, and I would say they're probably comparable to like a Shimpo.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean they're probably in there with the Shimpo I don't know. I don't really have enough experience with these.
It kind of looks like I'm looking at the Pacifica GT 800, and like I said, I've never thrown on one, so I guess I can't really say to it. But the body of it, like the casing, you know, the plastic where the splash pan and the base doesn't look super high and like durable, but it comes with a 5-year limited warranty, so that's nice.
I like the color on the Laguna color. It's a Laguna, by the way. Laguna Pacifica, yeah.
I mean, Laguna's pretty reputable.
Yeah. Maybe that's why it's that green color. That's part of the Laguna logo.
Probably.
Yeah, it looks like the base Pacifica wheel is $1,000.
Yeah, so I would say 500 or 500, 600, 4, 5, 6, somewhere in there.
Yeah. 800 or 80 pound centering capacity, and then the next one goes up to 100 pounds. So like the base level Pacifica is probably going to be plenty for anybody.
Yeah.
For most people throwing.
What about a Skutt Legend pottery wheel? That's $1,620.
I don't know.
I feel like Skutt's a really good company, so I've never thrown on a Skutt, but I do like the way their splash pan is, that it's like that whole encasing.
You're talking about the Thomas Stewart Legend one?
Probably.
Yeah. It looks like, I think that might be one of those that you can take the wheel head off to clean it.
You can. It does say that. You can.
Okay. That's pretty cool, actually.
How do you take it off? Like, you'd have to put a tool in there.
I think you twist it a certain way. Like, maybe it's one of those where you push it down at a certain angle, or maybe you turn it counterclockwise of the way the wheel spins or something like that to unlock it or something. I think that's what John the Potter has.
I think you're right. Yeah.
I mean, I've seen them throw at NCECA on them at the Skutt booth. I mean, they're pretty cool with the amount of space they have in their splash pan and what. It's like it's not really a splash pan. It's like the whole
system is a splash pan.
Is a splash pan. So like trimming on that would be pretty nice, I feel like.
Oh yeah, for sure. For sure. Trimming on it would be great. I think that you're looking at the same like 1,600. I bet you they're pretty comparable to the Shimpos for retail value.
Yeah.
Or resale value.
I feel like they'd probably be more because there's not as many on the market.
Yeah, Shimpo is really it's not oversaturated, but it's very saturated in the market for sure.
I don't know how long Skutt's been making wheels, but I don't see many used Skutts out there. I don't know that I've ever seen a used Skutt.
And it has leg extensions.
Yeah.
Oh, I just put, I think it's funny that they're called shaft extensions. Leg and shaft extensions. I just put all of my added things. So if I added leg extension and did a 12 ring, I don't know what the mold is. Anyway, moving on. If I like put in my added stuff, it came up to like $2,255.
Yeah, that's like a one-time wheel purchase that's gonna last you
a while.
Yeah.
But anyway, I've never seen one used. I've never seen one used at all. So that must mean they're good.
Yeah.
Like
you would have to have like got injured or something and cannot make any more to be selling one of those, or you'd probably sell it to somebody and it wouldn't go on the market. I think it would sell quick.
Yeah. For sure.
All right.
I feel like we've passed our time. Maybe we should do kilns next.
What's the base, just to bookend this, what's the base price that you would spend on a used wheel that you would expect to spend?
If it's
like $300?
No, if it's a good quality wheel. Okay, if I'm looking for just a hobby wheel, I'm not spending more than $300 to $400. Because I'm expecting that wheel to have a lot of life in it already, and on Craigslist, right? And I'm hoping that whoever sells it has no idea what they're selling it for. But
they're probably trying to get rid of it because it's taking up space.
But if I was looking for a wheel that was really good quality, if I'm looking for like a Brent or, you know, a Soldner or something that is like super, that's something that I'm going to have for the rest of my pottery career, hopefully, I would be fine with paying $700 to $1,000.
That's a big range.
I know. But it depends on the wheel. You know?
Yeah, it's one of those where you have to always be shopping. And if something comes up and you have the money for it, that's why you save for when you're like, okay, I know my wheel is getting to the end of its life, but I can last a couple of years. But if the right price comes up for the right wheel, then I can jump on it.
Exactly, yeah.
With $700 or whatever. Okay.
What about you?
Yeah. I would say definitely, I would say the majority of people that are listening to us are probably going to are getting their first wheels out of studios or something like that, and maybe they can spend, $500 on a wheel.
Yeah.
But maybe not.
I think $500 is a generous amount to go into the market looking for a wheel. I think that you totally can find them.
Yeah.
Now, what you would sell them for, like what we were talking about previously, is what I would sell it for, not what I would buy it for necessarily. Because obviously you want to get the best out of what.
You want to get the best price for what you're going to get, the best value.
Yeah, but like also, if you buy a used wheel and then you sell that used wheel two years later, like these Shimpos, the RK2s, I'm not going to sell them for a bunch of money. I'm just going to try and recoup some of the costs that I spent on it, I would say that you probably agree with me on this one, but I'm not going to try and
You're not trying to make money on it.
Yeah, and I'm not trying to screw another potter over either.
Yeah. You're not trying to say, I have all the experience in what this is worth, so I'm going to offer this wheel for $1,000 and see if you bite, because it's probably actually worth $800. It's more like.
Right.
Plus, it's kind of like helping your fellow potter, know what it's worth and giving them the right. And then you'll be honest with them about, the status of it, what are the issues with it, rather than letting them find out when they come get it or whatnot.
Yeah. Yeah. And, you have to understand that wheels are mechanical machines, It's not like if you're selling a slab roller versus a wheel, you're going to be looking at different cost issues. Like, slab rollers don't go bad necessarily unless it's in the gears, right? And wheels have so many different parts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say the slab roller is it's inefficient to move because it's so bulky. That's where the limitation comes, but.
Yeah, and it also doesn't have any, it doesn't have any mechanical parts other than gears, and that's easy to replace and, easy to fix.
And not all slab rollers have gears too, so some of them are more simple.
Yeah. But you don't have to plug it in, right? There's no power involved, and wheels have power. Same with kilns, that's like an added situation.
Yeah.
That you have to factor in the costs. Like, if it's going downhill, you need to account for that,
Yeah. Do we want to split this into 2 parts?
Yes, that's what I just said. I think that we should do kilns next time.
Okay.
Or we can stop recording and then do another one.
And okay. Maybe we should do that then.
Yeah, we should do that. I didn't think that it would take such a long time just to talk about wheels, but I feel like that was really a
in-depth look at the range of wheels that are out there. We didn't even talk about kick wheels. Is it worth paying money for a kick wheel?
Oh, kick wheels.
Is there a market out there with kick wheels?
There is a market out there for kick wheels. I wouldn't pay more than $300 for a kick wheel. I
wouldn't pay that. I'd pay maybe $200, $150.
It depends on the kick wheel. If it's a Soldner kick wheel, I'm going to pay $300.
I don't know anything about kick wheels, but I feel like just the effort of moving a kick wheel is going to be such a pain in the neck that I'm not going to want to spend that much money on it.
Yeah. Well, there are Lockhart kick wheels that have the electric motor with it, so you can still stop the wheel.
So it's not really a kick. So it's like a
no. It is.
There's a backup to help you assist. Is it like an assistant?
Yeah, it's like an assist. So you can use the motor, but you don't have to. So if you want to do something like the opposite direction, or if you want to kick it, you can, and you also stop it with your feet. So there is that. Those are metal bases, so they rotate on a metal base. I have always preferred cement-based kick wheels. I don't like the metal bases. They're heavier, the cement ones are, which means that they're going to rotate a lot more and, like, longer. In my opinion, I could be wrong.
What is the actual weight of the metal ones? Is just solid metal, or there's something inside it?
I don't know. I think that they're like a weighted metal.
So the metal is just really dense.
Yeah.
So it might be like a thinner kick wheel base.
Right, exactly.
That you're kicking, but it's just not
but like a cement
for
wheel
certain people.
Is going to be 3 inches thick at least.
Yeah.
And
how heavy is one of those?
They're so fucking heavy.
Is that like a couple 100 pounds heavy?
It's like 150 pounds. Yeah. They're heavy.
I've thrown on one kick wheel before, and it was in college, just because there was one by the window, and I was like, I want to try it, so I threw
You're like, I want to look out the window today.
I threw a 3 or 4 pound base or something on it.
Yeah.
I was like, it was all right. I mean, I can see the appeal if you kind of get in that groove.
Oh yeah, I learned on a kick wheel. I the first 3 years of me throwing was on a kick wheel, and I was like so adamant that I had never actually thrown on an electric wheel until I left college, because I'm so stubborn that I was like, no, I'm not going to throw on the electric wheel. And they only had 4 or 3 of the Shimpo RKs in college, but yeah, I love throwing on a kick wheel, and what's great about them is that you can have a lot of like organic like energy within your pieces, because the speed is so variable. So
yeah,
that is nice.
Have you seen the wheel that Joel Cherico throws on? It's one of those
are
Japanese
cool.
or
I've always wanted to make one of those
Asian wheels. So is there actual weight in there too, or is it just the weight of the wood going down? I think
it's the weight of the wood. I believe they're called Ongi wheels.
Okay.
Is that right? It's ONGI maybe?
I mean, I know that's a type of.
I found plans.
I think Ongis are what. That's like the big fermenting pots.
I found plans online to make one. I know, but they have a specific wheel for them.
Oh, okay.
Those big pots. Ongi wheel build. You can see it on YouTube. I've seen a couple people make them, and there's like plans out there for them. Yeah, I've always wanted to make one of those because they look portable and it'd be really fun to like take them to like an art show.
Yeah.
Those are cool. They're freaking cool.
It looks pretty cool.
Yeah, it's Ceramics Art Network has the materials and the tools that you need. I don't know if they have the plans linked, but yeah. So, but it's ONGGI.
Okay.
I've never seen those for sale ever.
Yeah, you'd probably have to. That's one of those that it's cherished.
Yeah, it's like
a tea bowl or something that people pay hundreds of dollars for.
You take the time to build it. You take the time to build it, and then you yeah, it's part of your pottery.
Yeah.
Oh, let's talk about the portable wheels really quick.
Yeah. That's what I started with.
I know we started
like,
with that. And
where would you start? Yeah.
Then we got really into it.
Yeah.
Okay, so we both have an Aspire, right?
Shimpo Aspire, yep.
You bought yours for how much?
I bought mine for $300. I think it was $300 or $325 used.
I bought mine for $400, but he'd only used it twice.
And mine is with a foot pedal.
And mine's with the hand pedal, the hand thing.
The foot pedal is nice.
I kind of wish I had the foot pedal for it because I feel
it's
like
pretty sweet. I don't know how the hand thing would work. Like, I feel like it would be super sensitive, isn't it?
It is a little bit sensitive, yes, and it
does it turn 360 degrees or does it turn like 180 degrees?
180.
180, okay.
Yeah, I do love that wheel though, except for the bat sizes. But I found out that Dirty Girls Pottery Tools have bats that fit that.
I just bought some seconds from them of those bats. I bought a 5-pack of those.
I was totally looking at those. Maybe I should get some.
If they still have them, you should get them, and then my parents will pick them up because they live like 5 minutes from their local shop.
They can pick them up?
Yeah, just put them in the contact them and tell them like, hey, I want to buy these, but I want to pick them up.
Did they pick them up for you?
Yeah, my parents picked them up 5 minutes from their house in Louisville.
Okay, cool. I will buy them. Oh, they still have them.
Because not that many people have those wheels, I think.
I know.
I haven't tried to put it on the wheel head, but yeah, it's weird because I just looked it up earlier. It's a 7-inch wheel head, but the bat pins fit a very specific bat. So you either have to buy the bats that are from Shimpo or buy the Dirty Girl bats that they have that fit the Aspire or make your own. So
yeah,
and I don't think you can take the pins out either. I think they're part of the wheel head.
Yeah. Oh, also what I've done for the Shimpo Aspire, which is so not kosher, but I have put clay on the wheel and then just stuck the bat on top of the clay. So I put it on the bat pin wheel thingy, which is not a wheel that you can actually throw on. And
wait, what?
So I like, you know how you can like put clay on the bat, like the wheel head, and then just stick bats to it?
Yeah.
I did that with the Shimpo, and it worked pretty good.
So you put enough clay that it was above the metal pins?
Above the pins. Okay. But it worked okay. But definitely that's the biggest downfall to the Shimpo Aspire is the bat head.
And I think the main reason is the splash pan is a circle that's one solid piece that fits over top of that 7-inch wheel head. Exactly. And then it twists into place. That's why it's that size. Yeah.
And but the bat that splash pan is great. And the bats that you get with the Shimpo Aspire suck. They're so bad. Do yours wobble? Mine like wiggle, and then they.
The thing is, I think it's because there's like rubber inside of them, so it's not a solid like plastic that doesn't move. It's like rubber casing.
Totally. I put them on upside down, and they fit great, but you can't throw them upside down.
Yeah, you need to glue the two of them together.
Yes.
And then you can interchangeably flip it over whichever way you want with the plastic side down.
Exactly. But I also have taken my square bats and just drilled holes in them so that they fit.
Yeah.
Those work great too. But I always just cut off the bat anyway, so when I'm using that.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that wheel. I only was using it for demos at the farmer's market. I haven't demoed at all at the farmer's market this year, and I sold way better without demoing, so... But I like the wheel. I'm trying to figure out if there's a way that I can, if I should use it more, because I want to get use out of it. I kind of want to throw certain pieces on it, but maybe I'll just use it for throwing a different kind of clay, and every now and then throw with some of these bags of clay that I just have sitting in my studio.
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you use yours for? Because we each have plenty of wheels. Like, there's no shortage of wheels for us to throw on.
I have zero shortage of wheels. Since I have 8.
Yeah.
I used it in Leavenworth when I was going out in Leavenworth, and it's just good to just toss in the car. I also have used it when I don't want to, a few times I wanted to throw in the front of the shop while it was open, and so I just plugged in the Shimpo and, stood up and threw.
You're just throwing mugs or something small like that?
Right.
Or bowls or...
Yeah, I was just throwing, mugs. And that was good. You know, it's just, an easy way to just kind of, I don't use it a ton, but it is nice to have. Very convenient. So, okay, but what? So you bought it for like $300. I bought mine for $400. The Speedball Artista, I've heard, is a fantastic wheel as well.
Yeah, they have a more significant wheel head. It's actually a regular size wheel head, I want to say.
Yeah,
I'm on Clay King right now.
So if bat pins are if bats are a necessary part of your life, then the Artista is actually what you should be looking for.
That's an 11-inch wheel head.
Yeah.
Including removable bat pins. So that's a more traditional wheel head. I mean, 11-inch is not a 14-inch wheel head, which some of the other wheels have, but it's comparable. Because you could fit regular bats on those.
Totally. Which would be really nice. I kind of wish...
And they do have an optional foot pedal as well. The splash pan looks a little bit more significant than the Aspire.
The Aspire?
It looks...
You know what would be really great, Shimpo? Or, no, Speedball, I mean. If you're listening, since you really like Ryan, is to give him one so that he can test them. He can do a side-by-side comparison. I'm just putting it out there. If you're listening.
Into the ether, and we'll see what happens. You know, Baker Hunt actually has 2 of them.
Shut up, Ryan. You are not helping your cause.
Baker Hunt has 2 of them, but they got them from Speedball when they bought some other stuff, I think, somehow. But I've never used them. I was trying. They can still send me one, and I'll test it. I'm not gonna steal Baker Hunt's, but I was like, hey, this would be great to do standing up if we wanted to have 10 students or 12 students, and then we could have a teacher wheel that's standing up or
Yeah.
But there's just not enough space for us to have another couple wheels.
Yeah.
Even
I've seen
non-COVID
some
situation.
studios, and they are wholly, primarily either Shimpo Aspires or Speedball Artista wheels. They're honestly, the Shimpo Aspire probably centers better than the Whisper, the light, in my opinion. It's just, I don't know why.
That's saying something.
I don't know why. Of course.
It looks like I'm looking at the horsepower. I was trying to see the horsepower comparison.
It's faster for sure.
It says 100 watt DC direct current. It doesn't say horsepower.
Yeah.
I think that's just the plug is 100 watt. I don't think that talks anything about horsepower. I don't know. But yeah, I would compare them. I think I like just having the option of standing up. These are nice because you can do it standing up or you could put it sitting down. I've actually taken the Shimpo Aspire out on the back porch and trimmed stuff on the back porch at my house or thrown a few things during the summer.
That's a good idea. Yeah,
and
it'd be
nice
a great
because I'm
trimming
not going
wheel.
to carry a wheel around.
Yeah. I would love for it to have a bigger bat. I want to try and figure out if I can make a bigger bat system where it sits and then it sits up. So it's taller because it can center 25 pounds and I'd love to throw all of my little pinch pots off of it. It'd be a perfect wheel to throw those off. So.
You're talking about the Aspire?
Yeah.
Why do you want to lift the bat up?
I want a bigger, wider bat. I want a wider
bat.
A 12-inch bat. So it'd be interesting if there was a way that you could lift, almost glue the smaller bat to a bigger bat.
I mean, I'm sure there's a market out there for. Yeah. There's probably a 2 high bat system that's got the holes for the Aspire, or there's something coming out at some point because they see this as an opportunity. It's got the holes for the bat pins that are in the Aspire, and then it widens to male bat pins that you could put a regular size bat on.
Yeah, that would be nice.
And you spend $30 for this thing, and then you can use all of your exact same bats that you always use.
And it's perfect. How much is the Speedball Artista? New? We didn't look at how much the Shimpo was new.
Shimpo Aspire new. It looked like it was about $570.
Okay.
Artista is $570. I mean, they're about the same price, so $570.
It's $455. Well, I'm sure that's the sale price on this.
It's on sale. Yeah, it's on sale. I'm on Clay King, but
you know what I hate about the Artista is the little tiny knob to turn it on. Like, it's
that's what they have at Baker Hunt. They don't have one of the optional foot pedals. It looks kind of like the Shimpo one though. Is yours not like that knob?
No, it's got a lever. It's got like a 4-inch lever, so you can find it a little easier.
Oh, I see. I can see it now. It is kind of like a little hand lever.
Yeah. Oh, but they do have one with a foot pedal.
Yeah, the foot pedal's optional.
Yeah. Wow, I feel like we haven't... That was fun. That was really fun to talk about all of those different things.
And I'm sure there's a lot of people trying to get wheels right now. Or have wheels out there, like, already. I'm still trying to figure out the...
Also, why does the Speedball Artista have to be brown? Honestly, like, that was one of the reasons why I was like, no.
Well, their other stuff is that color.
I know, it's gross. It's like baby poop brown.
It looks kind of like terracotta. I think that's what it's supposed to... Are you talking about the wheel head or the splash band? Splash band's kind of like a terracotta color.
Yeah, it's gross.
Maybe if they change branding or something, they did change some branding recently. Maybe they'll change the color.
Make it pink. More women will buy it.
I think some other business just made some stuff pink. Was that Pacifica Laguna? Did they offer some limited ones that were pink?
Did they? That's cool. There was also a new Kickstarter.
Oh yeah, we need to get one of those wheels.
Yeah.
I think they're called Quarks or something like that.
Yeah, and you know what? They can fit a. They fit a Giffen grip on them.
Really?
Ooh, the Lockerbie kick wheel. By the way, Lockerbie kick wheel, brand new, is $9.49. Just found that.
Is that one of the?
That's one of the metal ones.
Cement ones or the metal one? Okay.
Metal, but Lockerbie's probably the most common.
Quark. Quark is the. They were a Kickstarter.
It's got a Bluetooth pedal. Like, we need to find this wheel.
I don't know how responsive that would be. Would that be pretty good?
There's a wait list.
Well, yeah, because they had a Kickstarter. I was thinking about getting it, and I was like, oh, I already got the Artista. I do not need that. Or How much was it? I got the Aspire. I mean, they've got one here with S Plus, $349.
That's it? $349?
Well, let's see. Let's see what the capacity of it. It looks comparable to a Artista or Aspire. Centering capacity 25 pounds. Wheel head diameter 9 inches.
Yeah, that's about the Artista.
Yeah. I think they had some potters that were testing them when they were doing their Kickstarter and
where were we when that happened?
We weren't popular enough, Becca. We need to get our shit together. It looks like their splash band's pretty cool. It's like a magnet.
Yeah.
So they clip together through magnets. That's pretty sweet.
Quark S Plus. Quark Lit? Quark
Lit
is
Lit looks like the one that's because it's got a battery that it powers by.
It's pink. It's pink. There's a pink one.
Yep. There is.
And a blue one, which is weird. But I know you like blue. And a red one.
See, that's what it was on Kickstarter. I think the pink one was discounted when they first had it.
Why is Little Pink priced less? Little Pink takes a stand against pink tax and hence comes out at 7% lesser price compared to Quark products in their colors.
Pink tax. Let's look at pink tax Wikipedia.
Pink tax is when they tax women more because of the products that they use, because women are apparently...
Oh, okay. Gender-based price discrimination.
Yeah.
Learned something new today.
It's like deodorant. Like women's deodorant is more than men's. That's why I always buy men's.
Really? You know the funny thing about deodorant, it's a little side tangent. I like the size and the like roundedness of women's deodorant because I had to use Rachel's at one point. The roundedness is much nicer than like the hard edge of men's deodorant.
Well, you know.
Maybe it's just me, but my little 2 cents.
Your little 2 cents.
Yeah, I think their main drive was that it could be used on the go, that it was powered by battery if you need it to. But
there's definitely a wait list for that, and I would imagine that those being used is not going to happen anytime soon. I know somebody that's going to get one.
Really?
Yeah.
Wi-Fi range. Pedals powered by AAA batteries.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Okay, I feel like we've hit almost every wheel. We didn't cover Clay Boss, which is because they suck.
Depends on what you're trying to get. Like, that's a good second wheel.
Yeah, it was
or your very
terrible.
first wheel or a hobby wheel.
It was terrible to throw in. I got a Pacifica once and I literally gave it away.
Did you throw on my wheel?
Yes. I trimmed on it.
You trimmed on it, okay.
Yeah.
I throw on it with my speckled clay.
The foot pedal sucks.
The foot pedal is kind of tight.
It's terrible.
I don't know how the newer ones are, though. I mean, Tara Brault from Pitch Pine, like, that's all she uses is a Clay Boss.
Sorry, Tara.
And she's been using that for a while. She has another wheel, I think, that she got, like, last year, though.
Yeah.
But I think she used that Clay Boss wheel for years. But I don't know.
I know. Sometimes you just have what you have, and then you just get used to it.
I mean, if I were to replace a wheel, the next wheel I would replace would be that Clay Boss, and I would sell it to somebody else used, you know?
Yeah, for cheap.
Yeah, so I think we hit all the major wheels. I'm sure people are out there like, there's another wheel that you didn't hit.
You forgot this one.
But those are the majority of the wheels. Yeah. What about mini pottery ones? Do you have a mini pottery wheel?
Oh, yeah. Okay. We're at an hour 30, but we'll talk about this.
One more wheel.
One more wheel. Okay, I have a tiny little mini pottery wheel. I've seen the ones at NCECA. If you can get one from NCECA, like when we go, I would feel like those are a lot better quality.
And you could probably actually fit that in your carry-on somehow, mate. Or your
absolutely.
Suitcase.
They're like 6 inches long, 4 inches wide, and like 3 inches tall. I have one that I got off of Amazon for like $75. It's fantastic. Of course, it it's hard to. The wheel like slows down when you press on it too hard, but it's just like a cheap China wheel, and then I painted it with enamel, so it's all fun colors. But yes, definitely so fun. If you want just like a fun little thing, and if you have kids, it was so much fun playing with Val's daughter, who's 11, and she like figured it out really quickly and easily. So
nice.
I don't know. I would say the beefier the better, for those. But honestly, I think they're all kind of just crappy quality, unless you get one from a potter, direct selling from like somebody who sells at NCECA, or like, Almeida Pottery was selling them for a while there, but they were like $400. But I don't think he's selling them anymore.
Yeah.
So.
It looks like they all work from a knob. There's a USB one.
Yeah, that's
USB
the one I have.
mini
that's
pottery wheel.
And I'm so excited because when I move, I'm stoked about it because I can just hook it into my power dock, and it works.
I mean, that's pretty cool if like that's what you make.
Yeah, it's super cool.
You can just do it wherever.
Yeah,
I've never thrown on one.
Well, when I bring it, I'll bring it down and we can try it.
Cool.
You'll have to come up so you can try my Soldner wheel out.
Yeah. Is that the new one that you're going to buy or the one that you're going to transport?
Maybe both.
You're going to have two. You're going to be like, get rid of 7 wheels and we're going to add a Soldner.
Yeah, if all goes to plan, selling everything in the shop, I will for sure pick one up on my way through Colorado. It's 20 miles away from my parents' house. So
is that one that you're going to pay full price for?
absolutely.
Nice.
I will.
I mean, this is going to last you forever, so.
Oh, yeah. It'll last me forever, and I would not mind having... yeah. I wouldn't mind having a foot pedal that I don't have to keep my foot on, and that's not wood,
but if you get to that point, wouldn't you decide to sell your old one?
Absolutely
or is it
not.
like so many memories with this one that you would not, even though it's like pains you to use it for a long time?
No, I would definitely not sell it. Never. Ever.
Never?
No, but I also do feel like at some point it's going to kind of like hit the dust. So I'd like to have a backup all ready to go.
But I'm saying once you get the new one.
I know. I don't know. I'll probably if if I'm a little weird, and I would probably buy the wheel and just pack it away and then just wait for my other one to die. And then
You're going to be like 70 years old. This one dies and you're going to use this one that's like 80 years old.
I mean, if I get my own studio, I would have two. So I would use that one for trimming and throwing like larger pieces, and then mine for like throwing smaller pieces. So yeah, I would use it, but I'd have to have my own studio so that I can have two wheels, you know?
Yeah. Gotcha.
All right. If you guys want to look up Tim C, Timsee, does a video on why he thinks that the Soldner wheel is the best wheel, and it's on YouTube, so you can look it up.
Yeah, I always hear him swear by them, but I've never used one.
Well, you will soon.
Woohoo!
The pedal reaction is incredible. Incredible. Okay, we have to go because it's now we're almost at an hour 40.
All right. Thanks for listening, and we'll catch you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Hey guys, thank you so much for listening to our podcast. We really appreciate it, and we're having so much fun. If you want to follow us individually on Instagram, you totally can. Ryan's Instagram handle is @RDCeramics, and mine is 5 Lines Pottery. That's the number 5. We would love to hear from you, and don't forget to write us a review on our podcast. We read every single one of them, and we totally appreciate them. They help us out an awful lot, and they also put smiles on our faces. I hope you guys continue to listen, and we love you. Thanks. Bye.